Hi everyone! Welcome to the third episode of our podcast cycle, I Want to Volunteer in Radio Antivirus. We are Wojtek
and Michalina,
European Solidarity Corps volunteers in Enjoy Sicily. In the first episode we told you about what ESC is, what are the requirements for participants, and as well about benefits of volunteering and our experience. In the second episode we focused on looking for the project and the recruitment process.
Now we are going to focus on one of the aspects that is crucial in the recruitment process, drafting CV and cover letter in English. Those two papers are typically expected in every ESC recruitment process. However, this episode is not only for the people interested in participating in ESC. We will try to make our advices universal, so you can also benefit from them while looking for a regular job.
Let's begin with the curriculum. As you probably know, it is a document that is supposed to show your professional experience, education and skills. And it is the same with CV for ESC. Starting with the basics, first let's talk about the design of your curriculum. We recommend to use a CV creator for the graphics to look professional. You can use, for example, Europass Creator, that is free, or Canva program. There is also a free version. It is important that you save your CV in a non-editable format. PDF will be the best. Keep an eye on the font you are using. Too many shapes and sizes can create a visual chaos. About the length, a good curriculum should be limited to 1, maximum 2 pages.
About the photo, even though the trends are slowly changing and some places do not require it, it's mostly better to have a CV with your photograph. There is a few rules that apply to that part. You may go to the photographer and have the photo taken professionally, but in many cases you can just do it by yourself, especially while your curriculum is less formal. While taking a picture, you need to remember about a clear background, good light, and a smile. Clothes are also important. Shirtless or bikini pictures are definitely not a good choice.
Next section, contact data. You don't need to write your exact address, but be sure to put your phone number with the country code and the most important, email address. If you still use a funny email from 15 years ago, better create a new one, containing your first and last name. You can also write a short About Me description, introducing you, basic facts about you and your professional goals.
Crucial part of a CV is the experience section. In case you already have experience, write it in order, from the most recent to the earliest. Under every job title, you should list the tasks you were responsible for. For example, customer service via phone, or creating content for Instagram of the company. If you don't have much experience, you can include volunteering and school or university activities, such as participating in a student organization, volunteering in an animal shelter, or writing articles for the school newspaper.
Let's not forget about education. The places you attended to you need to put in a chronological order similar to professional experience, starting from the most recent. It's not necessary to write about the first stages of your education like primary school. If you are currently in the middle of an education stage, such as university, remember to indicate it as well in the curriculum. If during some stage of education you accomplish something, for example won a competition or were granted a scholarship, you can type it in the space under the place you attended.
Another very important element is the skills section. Remember to include your language skills, preferably using the scale from A1 to C2. If you are, for example, A1 level in a language, but you just started to learn it and you know soon you will be better, you can indicate this fact in your curriculum. For ESC, it's important for your English to be at least on communicative level. Of course, every other language is an asset. When it comes to other skills, like knowledge of computer applications and programs, you can indicate in examples what you can do. That will give an interviewer an overview and will be a good base for questions.
And finally, hobbies and interests. That part of a CV shows the interviewer who you are outside of work and creates your image. It can be also a good starting point of a conversation. As well, if the position requires knowledge of a foreign language, you may expect that the topic of a test conversation will be one of your hobbies. Even though that part is not the most important one in the curriculum, it is good to think about what you can put in that section. General default interests such as music and movies can suggest you didn't think more about what really interests you. It is always better to be more specific, but also to not lie. If you write that you love, for example, Polish cinema, you can expect some questions about it.
Last but not least, we need to talk about legal aspects. Do not forget about placing a GDPR clause in your curriculum to allow to process your data. Granting consent for data processing is obligatory, and your CV may not be taken into consideration if you do not include a clause. So it's important to remember about it. Up-to-date GDPR clause examples you can easily find on the internet. I think we told you everything you need to know about writing the curriculum. If you still have any questions, reach out to us on our social media.
Now let's talk about cover letter. It is a document in which you need to present yourself as a good candidate for the position, describing your motivation and skills. First, we'll focus on a technical side of writing a cover letter. Of course, it is better to write in a computer. Choose a basic, readable font and justify the text to make the document look neat and clear. Remember to divide your text in paragraphs too, and to save it in a non-editable format. PDF will be the best.
The content of cover letter needs to be focused on your experience and skills in context of the position you're applying for. You can connect the tasks and expectations described in the volunteering or job offer with what you can do, also using more detailed examples than in your CV. It's important not to just repeat the things you already included in curriculum, but to focus on the most crucial experience and skills. While writing a cover letter, you can also show your motivation. For example, underline your interests and passions that are connected with what you will do. Of course, remember not to exaggerate.
Writing a cover letter in English can seem tough at first, especially when it is your first time. What can help you is to try to create short, uncomplicated sentences. You can also ask a friend to read the letter and see if there is no typos and big mistakes. We tend not to see our own mistakes, so it can really be helpful. The same applies to your curriculum. If you are not sure about your English, a second pair of eyes can really help.
This is all we have prepared for you today. We hope our tips about writing a curriculum and cover letter in English will be helpful. That episode is the last one for now in our cycle I Want to Volunteer. Soon, you will hear more from us about the life of volunteers in Messina. Stay tuned!
Ciao ragazzi!